Hi friends. As many of you know, I have suffered from chronic illness and iron deficiency for over 3 decades. And I wanted to share some really good news that potentially could help somebody out there, as well as it has also encouraged both my 15-year-old son and my husband to make some changes. So let me back up a little bit. In August, I was hoping to hear from my oncologist, hematologist, that my iron was still looking good, or my CBC was still looking good, and that I was going to be able to remove my Metaport, which I've had since 2011, because that would have been the longest that I had ever gone without needing an iron infusion. I usually had gone between anywhere from 3 months to 18 months. So when I went to the hematologist in August and we did the labs, my numbers weren't as favorable as we had hoped. And so we decided to put a little pause and check back in 6 months to see if, one, I was able to naturally rebound, or if I was going to in fact need an iron infusion, even though at that point it would have been a little beyond the 2-year mark, which would still be a vast improvement over my history. Okay, so that's an update on the hematology side. On the other side, with regard to my chronic illness, it's been over 2 years since I've needed to do any IBD, inflammatory bowel disease medications, which is amazing. But the last time that I had tested my absorption levels, I was seeing a nutritionist here in town, and I was still not able to absorb nutrients naturally. So I decided, since it's been 2 years, to give it a shot. And because I had some labs coming up with my primary care doctor, I decided to do a little test to see if clean eating would actually play a role in that. So anybody who's been on Instagram or Facebook has probably seen this woman named Mere, M-E-R-E. I don't know her last name, but her little company is called Svelte, S-V-E-L-T, maybe S-V-E-L-T-E, I'm not sure. Anyway, she kept showing up on my feed, and it's all about clean eating superfoods, and all the things, right? And it was only $29. I got suckered into the $29 thing to get started. And so she provides like recipes and a little cleanse, like a 3-day, it's actually an 11-day cleanse. And like I said, I had some labs coming up, so I decided to do this clean eating cleanse for about 2 weeks prior to having my labs done. And around the same time, or right after I had my labs, we were leaving for New Orleans. And anyone who knows me knows I love Cajun food. And so I knew I was going to eat my way through New Orleans, which is horrible to say. But, I kind of wanted to prime myself to get ready for that. All that to say, I followed the plan to a T, with the exception of 2 nights I did have a glass of wine. And so there was a little bit of sugar included. But I did lose almost 8 pounds, which was surprising because I was eating all day, every day, a lot of food, way more food than I had been eating before. And so I was full all the time, which was great, and was feeling good. I actually had just gotten a cold, and so I had all this energy, which I was like, generally if you have a cold, you're kind of icky. So I know that all of this had to do with that. So I was feeling good. I was looking better. Here comes the day to do the labs. I'm super excited. I'm pumped. And a week later, here's today, I go see the doctor and I get my lab results. So it's like Christmas morning for me. I'm super excited. And I can't wait to share what we found out. So numbers don't lie. Here are the results. Everything in the yellow was an increase. Everything in the orange was a decrease, and everything in blue stayed the same. And this is page 2. So this is not just things like your sodium, potassium, calcium, protein, all the things like that, but it's also your blood work with regard to your CBC, your white blood cell count, your red blood cell count, all the things like that. And so it was very exciting to see all the increases and very, very few decreases. But I decided to go a step further because I love spreadsheets and I'm a nerd like that. I decided to do an increase percentage. So over to the right, you'll see those percentage numbers. Some of those numbers are astounding, like the creatinine or whatever is 49.2% increase. I mean, they're astounding. So what I decided to do is I grouped them and did an average. So the overall average for this group is up 1.6%, even with several of the things going down, and some of them were pretty substantial. Same thing for the CBC. Overall is plus 15%. I mean, those numbers don't lie. Now, I went a step further because, again, I was very disappointed when I got my lab results in August from my hematologist, and that's these numbers right here. And so I compared those to these, the CBC, and I would say about 95% of those numbers went up. So, wow, and wow. So all I can say is I'm a huge advocate. I am definitely going to be sending kudos, reviews, whatever I possibly can to this mayor person with Svelte. For somebody who's had malabsorption for as long as I've had and low iron for as long as I've had, I've naturally increased my iron and increased all these other things as well. Just by changing what I was eating. And I was fairly healthy before. I mean, I didn't eat a whole lot of processed foods and things like that. So these were not huge changes. And again, I was probably eating double this time around than I was previously and lost weight. So kudos, that's all I gotta say. And then because of this, and because it was so easy to stick to, like I said, my husband, and if anybody knows my husband, he loves some junk food. And my 15-year-old son, and anybody who knows a 15-year-old boy, loves junk food. They are both on board. They could not wait to get started. And as soon as I got back from New Orleans, guess what I did? I got back on because literally for 2 weeks, it cost me maybe $200 for the food, and I still have leftovers. So it not only is good on the pocketbook, but it's great for the waistline. It's great for your numbers, overall health. Highly recommend it. If you have any questions, DM me, leave information or whatever in the comments. I will be glad to share whatever I can with you. I'm also going to do, I did like a menu diary of everything that I ate. And so I'm going to put that in this video so you can kind of see everything that I ate. It was a lot of food. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful, amazing, blessed day. I surely am. And hopefully I will have more great things to share with you in the near future. Bye for now.